Friends, buckle up! We're diving into the wacky world of trade wars, and this time, it's personal. On April 2nd, 2025, your favorite orange president decided to celebrate Liberation Day with a bang. No, not fireworks, tariffs. He slapped a whopping 25% tariff on all imported vehicles. Cars, trucks, you name it. If it rolls in from another country, it just got a whole lot more expensive. And as if that wasn't enough, he's also eyeing a 20% tariff on almost everything else we import. But wait, there's more. Remember those steel and aluminum tariffs he imposed back in March? Yeah, those are still in effect. And now he's added a secondary tariff on Venezuelan oil and gas. Basically, if you buy it, we'll tariff you. It's like a playground bully, but with worse hair. This isn't just some abstract economic policy, folks. These tariffs have real consequences. They drive up prices for consumers, hurt American businesses, and damage our relationships with our allies. But hey, at least we're owning the libs, right? Remember that old saying, don't poke the bear? Well, Trump just poked the eagle and it's got a sombrero on. Mexico, under the leadership of President Claudia Sheinbaum, isn't taking these tariffs lying down. They're hitting back, and they're aiming for the sweet spot, the automotive industry. See, Mexico is a major player in the car-making world, especially when it comes to those fancy electric vehicles everyone's talking about, and they send a lot of those cars north of the border. But with these new tariffs, that flow of cars is about to hit a wall. But Mexico's retaliation isn't just about tariffs. They're getting strategic. Individual states are stepping up with their own measures to protect their economies. Nuevo León, a hub for EV parts, is offering tax cuts and incentives to boost local businesses. Guanajuato, home to a major Ford plant, has created a war room of business leaders to coordinate their response. And Puebla is putting its money where its mouth is, literally, by buying 500 vehicles from its local Volkswagen factory. Mexico isn't backing down, and they're not alone. This tariff tantrum has sparked a global backlash, with countries around the world lining up to slap their own tariffs on American goods. Remember that shiny new electric car you were saving up for? Yeah, about that. Thanks to Trump's tariff tirade, it just got a whole lot more expensive. Like, take out a second mortgage expensive. Experts predict that car prices in the US could skyrocket by anywhere from $3,000 to a jaw-dropping $12,000 per vehicle. That means a $50,000 car could soon cost you closer to $80,000. But it's not just the price tag that's taking a hit. The entire auto industry is bracing for impact. Production could be disrupted by as much as 30%, and sales are expected to plummet. And those futuristic electric vehicles? They're especially vulnerable. See, Mexico's booming EV sector relies heavily on the US market. They've been ramping up production, investing in new technologies, and creating jobs. But these tariffs threaten to derail all that progress. Foreign investors are getting cold feet, and the uncertainty is casting a long shadow over the future of the industry. So, thanks a lot, Trump. You've managed to hit the auto industry with a 1-2 punch: higher prices and less innovation. It's enough to make you want to walk, cycle, or maybe just stay home and watch reruns of The Apprentice. Though, on second thought, maybe not. Remember that warm, fuzzy feeling you get when you buy something new? Yeah, get ready to say goodbye to that. Thanks to Trump's trade war, everything's about to get more expensive. And not just cars. We're talking about everything from washing machines to beer to those little plastic toys your kids go nuts for. Economists estimate that these tariffs could add a whopping 2.1% to 2.6% to overall consumer prices. That means the average American household could be shelling out an extra $3,400 to $4,200 per year just to buy the same stuff they're buying now. And let's not forget about those pesky steel and aluminum tariffs, which have already added hundreds if not thousands of dollars to the cost of cars and other goods. So, while Trump might be patting himself on the back for protecting American jobs, the reality is that he's picking the pockets of ordinary Americans. And for what? A trade war that nobody asked for and nobody's going to win. It's enough to make you want to scream into the void, or maybe just drown your sorrows in a six-pack of increasingly expensive beer. Remember that whole global economic meltdown thing back in 2008? Yeah, good times. Well, get ready for round two, because Trump's trade war is pushing the global economy towards the brink. And this time, North America might be ground zero. The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, is predicting that U.S. economic growth will slow to a measly 2.2% in 2025, with even sharper declines expected in the following years. Canada isn't faring much better, with growth projected to sputter to a dismal 0.7%. And Mexico? They're staring a full-blown recession in the face. But it's not just the big picture numbers that are scary. These economic slowdowns will have real consequences for real people. Businesses will close, jobs will be lost, and families will struggle to make ends meet. In Mexico, the situation is especially dire, with experts warning of potential social unrest and a surge in organized crime. So, thanks a lot, Trump. You've managed to take a bad situation and make it infinitely worse. You've alienated our allies, sparked a global trade war, and pushed the North American economy to the brink of collapse. It's almost impressive in a horrifying, hold me, I'm scared kind of way. Section 6, Global Backlash, the world pushes back. Remember that old saying, it's a small world after all? Well, it's about to get a whole lot smaller and a whole lot more tense thanks to Trump's tariff tantrum. See, the rest of the world isn't just going to sit back and watch as he throws a hissy fit over trade. They're pushing back, and they're bringing their own tariffs to the party. Canada, our friendly neighbor to the north, has already slapped tariffs on $20 billion worth of U.S. goods. The European Union, those sophisticated folks across the pond, have countered with tariffs on $28 billion of American products. And China, well, they're playing the long game, strategically targeting U.S. agricultural products with tariffs of up to 15%. This isn't just about economics anymore, folks. It's about geopolitics. Trump's actions have damaged America's reputation on the world stage and emboldened our adversaries. He started a trade war that nobody can win, and the consequences will be felt for years to come. So, the next time you hear Trump bragging about America first, remember this. He's actually putting America last. Last in the eyes of our allies, last in the global economy, and last in line for a decent trade deal. Section 7, USMCA, Under Fire Trade Agreement in Jeopardy. Remember that whole USMCA thing? You know, the trade agreement that was supposed to be the crown jewel of Trump's trade policy? Yeah, about that. It's not looking so hot these days. In fact, it might be going up in flames faster than a Trump tower made of kindling. See, both Canada and Mexico are hopping mad about these new tariffs, and they're not ruling out legal action. They're arguing that these tariffs violate the very spirit, if not the letter, of the USMCA. And they might have a point. The USMCA, much like its predecessor NAFTA, was designed to promote free trade and reduce barriers between the US, Canada, and Mexico. But these tariffs are doing the exact opposite. They're creating uncertainty, increasing costs, and disrupting supply chains. It's enough to make you wonder if Trump even read the agreement before he signed it. Though, let's be honest, that's probably giving him too much credit. So, thanks to Trump's erratic behavior and blatant disregard for international agreements, the USMCA is on shaky ground. And if it collapses, it will be yet another self-inflicted wound on the American economy. Section 8. Broken chains and empty shelves, supply chain, chaos. Remember those pre-pandemic days when you could waltz into a store and buy pretty much anything your heart desired? Yeah, those days might be over. Thanks to Trump's trade war, global supply chains are in a state of utter chaos. And that means shortages, delays, and empty shelves are looming on the horizon. See, those products we buy, from cars to clothes to coffee, rely on complex global supply chains. Parts and materials are sourced from all over the world, assembled in factories and then shipped to consumers. But these tariffs are throwing a giant wrench into the works. Higher costs, border delays, and uncertainty are causing disruptions at every stage of the supply chain. Businesses are struggling to find alternative suppliers, transportation costs are skyrocketing, and consumers are facing longer wait times and higher prices. It's a logistical nightmare, and it's only going to get worse. So the next time you're staring at an empty shelf at the grocery store, or waiting months for that new gadget you ordered online, remember to thank Trump. He's the one who broke the global supply chain, and we're all paying the price. Section 9. Uncertainty reigns. The future is murky. Folks, I hate to leave you on a downer, but the truth is nobody knows how this whole trade war thing is going to play out. The only thing we know for sure is that it's going to be messy, unpredictable, and probably involve a lot of angry tweeting. The stock market is freaking out, businesses are panicking, and economists are pulling their hair out. The future is about as clear as a crystal ball filled with mud. Will these tariffs be enough to force Mexico and other countries to renegotiate trade deals in Trump's favor? Or will they backfire spectacularly, pushing the global economy into a recession and costing countless jobs? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, this trade war is a disaster of Trump's own making. He's the one who started it, he's the one who's escalating it, and he's the one who's going to have to answer for the consequences. And if history is any indication, he'll probably blame it on someone else, but hey, at least we'll always have Twitter, right?